never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. My brothers and sisters, life get hard sometimes. You're going to get thirsty. You're going to get hungry. You're going to get tired. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get disappointed. You're going to have all things that come at you. But remember what Jesus said. He said, you can do all things. All things. The word said, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Hebrews 4:15 and 16 says, for our high priest is able to understand our weakness. When he lived on earth, he was tempted in every way that we are, but did not sin. Let us then feel very sure that we can come before God's throne where there is grace. There we can receive mercy and grace to help us when we need it. Do you need mercy and grace today? I'm sure. I don't know about you, because you might feel that you don't need God, which is a bad answer. We all need God. We all need the Creator. But as for me and my house, I know I need him, and I know I need him to lead and to guide me every day. So we need to call on him, because the word tells us in 2 Corinthians 4:16 through 17, for which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. My God, what a mighty God we serve, who sent Jesus Christ to die for us. He paid a price that he did not owe, and we owed a price that we cannot pay. So thank you, Lord Jesus, for going to that cross. Thank you for shedding your blood for me. And it is in the blood that I claim over my life, over my family's life. And I pray that you claim that same blood. Acts 16:31 says, and they said, believe on the Lord Jesus Christ, and thou shalt be saved and thy house. Oh, my brothers and sisters, we serve a mighty God. So remember, there's a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning, and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Roane, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's Ask Your Neighbor time. The boys are back in town, and, Howard's joined us. How you doing, Howard?
I'm doing better.
You've been laying out last little bit. Good to have you back.
Get under the weather.
Oh! Hello, DW. How are you? David, you doing all right? Good.
I can get in there, yeah.
Good.
I'm walking pretty good and ain't running no jackrabbits, but I'm walking good.
Not running any races today?
Yeah.
You look good.
And Dustin over here, he's on his first legs.
So, you keep him moving then.
Yeah.
Don't ask him how he's doing, ask him what he's going to do.
What's next?
He's got to get this in line the way it goes. Yeah, I thank the good Lord. Hip surgery is it's a big thing. But will you believe it or not, 6 months is what it is.
Yeah.
6 months.
You still in therapy? You still going in therapy at it?
No, I've been out therapy, but I still do it because I went for my checkup. I think the next one's 3 months, the final one probably.
Okay.
The X-ray every month, but now it cut back 3 months. I believe he said that'd be the last one, but I told him I was doing therapy at home. He said that's good.
Good.
Keep it up.
6 months is probably a normal person. I mean, 6 months is probably you. It's probably 9 months for a normal person to recover.
Yeah, but I mean, they ask you to go in there. What do you want to do? Because some people says I just ride in a wheelchair. Some people I walk and some walking stick. And I said I don't walk like I did before I come in here. And he said you can. That's the way you feel bad. Well, I done it. I'd get in there taking therapy, and you do 30. First off, you do 5 or 10, then 20, and you know how it goes higher than that.
Yeah.
They got a 30, and I do 30, and I do 32 or 3. I said, well, you won't have bad.
He just throw a few of them extra on there for him. That's
I
it.
don't want to be able to do this bad.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a sight. When you can't pick your leg up to take one step,
True.
it's a sight how they can help you with therapy. I mean, somebody studied that out. You walk up steps and, well, see, I kept playing at fire, I was in a wheelchair and they just picked me up. And
Hoisted you up there.
I played several shows. I never missed a show.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, I played them all. They kept calling, you gonna be able to do the fire? You gonna be able to do it? I said, yeah. I reckon. I said, all I got to do is get somewhere getting up on stage. And J.J. Jones had to be gone. Or he said, I'll just pick you up and set you up there for we to build.
Yeah.
He said he picked, what was his name? On it rode with, that movie they made. I forget the name of it now. Eastbound and Down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Burt Reynolds.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Smoking Band. Yeah, it was Burt Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
He said Burt Reynolds was out there and said he barely could get around when he come over and said he helped him off the bus. Said he was real light and said he walked there at that stage, wherever he was at, big high stage, and he said, I don't know how I'm going to get up there. And he said, I just grabbed him up there and set him up there.
Just set him right up.
He said, thank you. Well, there's some people can do it. When I fell, there's a guy, he's a big old guy. He stopped and said, do you need some help? And I said, I can't get up. I'm not. I couldn't get up on one leg where I was laying in the grass and stuff. He said, what I got to do is bear hug you. He said, I'm going to pick you straight up. And I thought that's going to be a pretty good job for a boy. It wasn't for him. He's straight up. Said, stand on your good leg now. We'll get the chin around that. I said, you sit down in that cart. And I said, yeah, I can drive it if I sit down. But I felt something go right there. He broke one of my ribs. He got me up. It's something. I've had 2001, I had 10 broke ribs.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I fell through a concession stand. I was down up there one time. I had 3, I think. And then I had 5, and then 1. That 5 like to kill me, babe.
Bet.
But see, I was older. I was 25 years older.
Mm-hmm.
The 3, I just kept working. It hurt, but I was... Harriet had me in such a fast lane, I wouldn't know how to stop. But anyhow, I made it good. The 10, I could made it, but I took pneumonia and pericarditis with it operated on my heart. And but it was rough, I tell you. But it wasn't as rough as in 5. And I had to go 30 days. Only I could sleep. Sometimes I could sit like this and sleep just for 30 minutes. And it was taking morphine and everything else. They sent me home with a lot of that stuff. I mean, oxycodone and cotton and morphine, they just, whichever one seemed to do the best, take them.
Well, there ain't nothing.
Operate on with it.
There's nothing you can do about broken ribs except hurt to it.
Yep.
I mean, there's just nothing you can do.
I go to my desk and put a pill on my desk, and I could lay down for about 30 minutes after I took a pill. And then I woke up, buddy, I had to get up, get in a wheelchair and ride around. That was with, I didn't hit, I could walk good then. And before it broke me up, I just had a lot of things, I reckon. Well, I've been through a lot of them.
You have, huh?
You have.
A whole bunch of them. I don't know. I got thinking it might have been because Howard used to work me so hard back in those days.
I believe that's it.
Yeah.
We
was telling Dustin coming over. I know they've heard about it, but yeah, we'd put up $1,000 hay, me and Howard and two girls, or Rowdy and his girl, however it went. But them girls worked hard. I mean, they could handle hay because they just used to it. But we do $1,000 hay. Get off at 5 o'clock, run, take a shower, and go do a show from 7 to 10. I would say, what are we going to do now? So we're going to set monuments. Get in that truck, we can set monuments 11, 12 o'clock at night. We did a lot of things.
Did what you had to do to keep things rolling.
That's right.
I
was talking about, said, we done so many things and worked so long that I said, well, I don't even know if I believe it or not. It was. I'm going to tell you what, O'Hare was in shape back then, because I was in pretty good shape. Oh, yeah. And he tells you about, I'll tell you the hardest thing that we'd done, it was dangerous, was carrying old big heavy furniture up 2 steps.
Up ladders.
And we just had to walk and make sure we couldn't hold nothing.
Right.
I mean, that thing weighed 500 pounds. We walked up 2 step ladders, set it up the eyes at ceiling up there. And see, I come up with the idea of 3 pieces. See, I had a build
one more.
Oh, yeah. I see if I take this building that gets full and stack everything on top of each other, I get half the building.
Right.
Well, then I looked at it and I said, man, if we had it 3, I'd get 2/3 of this building. I said, where are you going to get it from? I said, I got 2 step ladders.
There's my boss.
That was dangerous.
2 of them big old juicy steak burgers. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
And it was about that thick. We're standing there eating them. It gave him time to start looking and thinking. If I go 3, I'd get more of this building.
You know, it's kind of like my 2 cousins. My uncle up there on the sawmill where that Lambert's is.
Uh-huh.
All around on the sawmill, and he had his boys work for him. Some of them did. Burl reminds you of Hoss Cartwright. And the other one was already inventing something. And so his daddy passed away, and he left it to them 2 to run, the big sawmill and all that. And the other one was smart. He had some good ideas, but he never did get them on the market right. I mean, he's smart way before it come out.
Mm-hmm.
He'd come up with the idea, and Burl said, I just don't understand this. Every time you come up with the idea, it costs me 50%. Well, I'm like, not. And he was up there one day, people's loading shavings, and he said, we get some shavings, how much are they? He said, today they're free, tomorrow nobody gets them. I'm fixing to make that pressed wood. And he started making it, a little old thing of it. He didn't get it. I guess somebody stole his idea. And then he went and mailed himself a letter. He invented plastic caskets. And so that's what you get now.
Right.
Plastic caskets.
Well.
He invented and wrote a letter to himself and mailed it back, trying to keep the patent on it.
Really?
And he invented quite a bit of things, but he never did get there. He never did get none of them together, you know. He was funny the way he would figure stuff out. He'd lay down on a bench over him and my daddy. Daddy was working the store, and then Dad'd be sitting around there in the office. Mr. West said, I got to try out something. He said, I got to get a job as carpenter where he helped build that bridge up here at across the river.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I've got to pass a carpenter. He said, I knew they did no carpenter work. He went and bought a carpenter book. Boy, he had a mind like an elephant. He read it plumb through. And he'd lay down on that bench and shut his eyes and he'd say, ask me all kinds of questions, Mr. West, I got to get these answers. I got to go Monday and get this job. They said they're going to give me a written test. And if I pass it, well, they'll harm me. And Daddy sat there and asked him stuff, and he sat there. I seen him put that book over his eyes. He just hit hard so he could start reading. And he could read every bit. He didn't even have tools. He went and bought him a hammer and a handsaw and something, maybe a level. And they needed skill saws and stuff. He said, I didn't have no money, so I just went up there and maybe got him a hammer from his daddy or somebody. He went up there and walked in and told me he was a carpenter. And he said, I said, how did you do it? And he said, this old man was kind of feeble a little bit, had a job, and I thought, I'm going to help him to learn this. He said, I think they want me to be your helper. He said, he just walked in, and he started helping that man, and using a skill saw. And he said, then he put him over on his own. He was thinking, I borrow your skill saw. He said, I just borrowed a skill saw. I didn't have one. He said, it went real good. I hit the tongue of the tongue of the wheelbar, that metal part. He said, nobody wanted me. I had to go buy one. It took a whole check to get what I had there. And he works on that till he got built. Made big money, you know. I was paying big money up on that bridge. You know?
Oh, yeah.
That's just the way he was. I'll tell you something. He started making septic tanks. And he got him a great old big, he had one of them great big, well, they had one of them big old trucks come from the Army, called it Superman. It was one of them big double-wheel green ones, you know, four-wheel drive. They went through the mud and stuff over in World War II. He had logs on it, and he had a big old International. They'd been log trucks, and he built a big old heavy frame on it. And that boom, it went out there, and he got it, I guess he got real close to it and picked it up and got in the truck. Well, his very first run when he went to set it, he ran out there on the end of that thing and broke it out. And fell down the hole and busted off it. Oh, you ought to saw what they look like. He made his own nose, welded them up. The first he made out, he made his nose sit in where he couldn't get down. And then he cut it in half and got it out, and he figured out he had to do it in sections. So he got that over, and then he started sitting in commodes, and they looked like something the flies would blow. I mean, it's the roughest things I ever saw. You go out there and sell them a little cheaper. And somebody said, man, that's awful looking septic tanks I've ever saw. He said, well, you ain't going to ever see it nowhere. He said, it's concrete. It's going to be underground. It's not like it's going to sit on top, you know. I'm like $100, $10 cheaper than everybody else. We'll put it in there. So he started selling. You know, we made that steel, there'd be wobbly places all in it. Just go down to 2 inches, just directly 4 inches in it. It's awful looking thing you ever saw. Oh, he was one more fella, I tell you. He was smart, boy. He was a black belt in karate, and he had muscle about like Anthony over, big muscle arms. And he works in log. That's about all he's ever done, working in logwoods. And handling log, and he's stout and mule.
Oh, that's work, buddy.
And he's black belt, and he didn't get afraid of nobody. He wasn't scared of anything, but he didn't get mad, and he didn't cuss or say stuff like that. He just, you know, he's a good old Joe. You could ask him a question, say, hey, like my new shoes? He'd say, well, how do you like them? And I'd say, I do. He said, that's all counts. He always had an answer for everything. So he took that, you invent stuff, and even on them caskets he tried to sell people, they wouldn't take the idea of it. But finally it come to China, they had them, they probably thought of it too, but he was way ahead of it. I'm talking about 10, 12, 15 years ahead of all that stuff. Except septic tanks, he wasn't ahead of that, but he made some real good, ugly septic tanks. But he likes to trade, and I traded for a 55 Ford, and his first car I'd ever bought for myself. And it run this guy told me the truth about it. He said, buddy, this is a good car. I've been driving it back and forth to work in Knoxville. He said, I've been driving it for 10 or 15 years, 10 years. He said he didn't give a bit of trouble. Said, I ain't had to put nothing on starter, brakes, or nothing. Boy, I jumped on that. My first car took about 3 weeks pay to buy it because he'd got me another car and just a old car sitting there. And I had saved up enough money to buy one, so I bought it and I got it home and I said, well, first it was starter, next it was generator, next it was brakes. And something went out every week, something tore up on a car. And I told my daddy, I said, well, he told me the truth. He said, he hadn't changed it. I changed it all.
He hadn't done nothing.
Well, then the back main got leaking. I had Junior Terry, a lot of people knows him. He jacked it up and put mains in it, and it wouldn't stay in it. I guess the crank was warped or something. Went right back out, started leaking again. I lost that. So he come down there, and he had another Ford. It was shiny, and he got from a school teacher. Her said she drove it, and it run good. It was a 54. I had 55. And so I had bought a wreck. It had a nice motor in it, and I was going to put it over in 55. I said, I'm going to trade you the motor, anything you need off that wreck car to fix this one up with. And I said, it's a good motor. Of course, we knew it was because the guy had a wreck with it. Then one of my friends had a wreck. He just bought it 2 or 3 months. Well, he said, I'll trade with his on Sunday. I said, now, it takes a quart of oil to go to Knoxville. It just leaks it. I said, so go over and get you, he's going to go to Sweetwater. I said, go over and get you about 3 or 4 gallons of that bulk oil. And I said, drive it about 10, 20 miles, and then jump out, pour some oil in it, and keep going. Well, he took off to dinner at Sweetwater somewhere down there, Philadelphia, that little town there. And he run it till it locked up, and then jumped for the oil in it. He jumped out for the oil in it. And so I looked up, so I told him, I said, with this car, I'm going to put you right on your feet, buddy. I mean, you're ready, they get off that walk and this car's right, I gave him a big sales pitch, and I was running the side of it on Sunday, and I looked coming down the road, and it's him walking. And he walked up and said, well, you told the truth. You said you'd put me on my feet, so that thing to be sitting way down close to the pike on the side of the road. And he said, quick as it started to knock and stuff, so I jumped out and pulled over. I said, you're supposed to pull me in before it does that.
Yeah, that's the easiest way.
I got 3 gallons of oil right there in the car. I said, well, you didn't get in there quick enough. He said, it's fine, it's locked up. And he'd hitchhike all the way back to Siderville. They let him out for someone was walking down the road. So one of my friends was there, and he said, I'm going to go get that septic tank truck, put a pipe and a chain through it, and pull you in. He said, I know why this happened. And I said, how come? He said, trading on Sunday. All kinds of ideas, trading on Sunday. He said, we shouldn't have done that on Sunday. Should wait Monday. I said, if you don't put oil in on Monday, they'll go out.
The same thing will happen on Monday, too.
Whichever day you want. And he got it and traded off. But then I got the old car, the teacher's car was real slick, and traded for my first 42 Chevrolet truck. Went to peddling. Your daddy would help me. He'd go with me, just a little fella, about 6-year-old. 6, 7, he helped me several years there, 6, 7, 8, I guess. But he'd go, we'd run him up them houses and back in dirt roads back in the early 60s. 61, 2, like that. And he'd get there and run up them houses and knock on the door. Would you like to buy some produce? And he's a cute little boy, and they'd say, well, what do you got at there? And he'd come down and we'd sell him some stuff. But it was a great life. I built that red one just like it, at 42. They're very scarce.
Yeah.
I just built them like 3 months because they went into war. And they couldn't buy a new car. It would be a government car. And that was a government truck.
Oh.
And this guy looked it up and said he told how many was still in existence in the United States. There weren't many. I had it wrote down, but I forgot what it was now. But we built one during COVID. Put it together. And It was a real good truck. Mike's got it now.
Yep.
He drives it all the time. It's a really good truck. But, I mean, it was 42. See, as year I was born in 42, that's the reason I wanted it.
Yeah.
Because that's the first one I had was 42. Oh, man, we had a time, me and him. He went with me everywhere just about. But, getting started, people ask me, how'd you get started in business? And I tell them, I said, well, I just started in business when I was at school, trading for notebooks and pencils and paper and erasers and selling marble. But when I grew up, then Daddy would run a store when I was in high school, and it wasn't a store, it was cider barrel. And he'd run it until it got cold, real cold. Maybe it'd go up October, maybe. But I'd run it when I come in the evening. And a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand what it takes to do it. Mm-hmm. That thing had a canvas top on it, that building, that big long building where Don Gibson and them all come drink cider, and had tables out there, and this guy he took cheesecloth and made canvas out of it. Mr. Ashton, he's a great artist. He painted on both sides with a heavy layer of paint, and that thing would last maybe 5 years. So I had it about 5 years. It's 3 years for him, about 2 for me, and it started leaking. And so I got to put 10 on this, and I went down the street. This woman had an old-timey hog pen, but it had a nice 10 on it all the way around it. I said, what are you going to do with that? She said, I tear it down, I guess. I said, would you give me that 10? She said, yeah. So we took that 10 off me that minute. I said, take up that bed and walk on in.
Yeah.
We took all that 10 off and drug it from down there below on Mahaffey Road, all up through there and back down the field and put it on that. It took like 20 sheets, I believe, or maybe. Look, that building was about 20-something feet. We took it, it was that corrugated, and we lapped it quite a bit. And we finally put a metal roof on it. And if you get determination, you won't spend the time, you can make it. And see, one of the things about business, try to do it as good, as honest, and the best you can. That ain't too good, but it's the best you can do. Because the repeat business is where you make your money. Now, if you're in the flea market business, it's a different story. You're selling junk, and you ain't gonna hit the junk next week, and so you can't sell it. If you sell somebody a piece of junk, why you say, there it is, as is. Kind of like Rick Campbell went to Florida. He got out of work, and he went to Florida and said, I was wanting a job, and said, they said, can you pick lemons? He said, I reckon I've been married 3 times. So that's the way it goes, But I was so determined to make it without, having to. A lot of my cousins, they had. Well, one of them's daddy was supervisor for Airline Railroad bridges and buildings. He was a big, on the track. I'd ride with him sometimes in his truck. He just pull up on the railroad track, and wheels drop down, and he just take off down the track. But in the others, some of them got called service, and I did too, but they messed up somewhere on my classification, let me out. I mean, the day I was supposed to go, he sent me, he said, you're deferred, and I didn't know what it was. He looked at it and said, hey, you ain't been in service. They got you mixed up for somebody that's been in for, he's on leave. He's deferred right now. They can't call him back. He said, just keep your, as at Vietnam War, he said, just keep your mouth shut and keep going. So I did. That's what happened to me on that, which I think the good Lord and everybody else get me out of that, because that was a waste of money.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people killed, pinned out,
Yeah.
But Daddy used to call it the rich man's war and the poor man's fight. That's what Daddy called it. That's pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Rich man's war and the poor man's fight. But see, I just kept chugging at it. I do stuff to get, like Mr. Walker did. I put horseshoe stakes out, and I had people that played on the state tournament would stop there, because see, we went on interstate. And it's the horseshoe playing, they stop. Man, I'm in the state I know the guy was third in the state, and he'd bring people up there, and then get to pitch horseshoe. Well, I'd draw a crowd. I'd sell them cider and candy and whatever I had, and all them goodies, you know. And I kept a crowd at something. I thought, I still got the checkerboard, and I had a bunch of checker players would come in there. They were pool sharks and stuff. They want to play checkers. I still got that board. I said that it's up there. You saw it in your run-up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I set that on the nail keg. And I mean, these guys was good. They'd come in there and play checkers. And one of them was kind of, you know, he had to win, or he was one of the big boys, you know, he had to do it. So Faye said, let me play a game of checkers with you, so I can say I played with some of the upper crust. And he said, okay. And he didn't take jokes very well. Faye thought she couldn't do nothing, and she said, boom, 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 just jumped them all, raked them off like that. She didn't have a move. I mean, jump one. What's wrong with you? She said, I got him, then. He got mad at her for, oh, what's wrong with you? She said, I just cutting up with you. She said, ain't no way I can beat you. You know. She just jumped all over him with one, and raked him off the floor. He was serious about his checkers. He didn't want to do that. We had so many good times back when I grew up, my daddy, and I was telling her a long time ago, if our cows got out, and our fences was, you know, you couldn't afford fences much, or poor farmers just had it. We had it rough. In that, we had plenty to eat. Because, see, we had everything. We had goat milk, cow milk. We killed hogs. We had steak, sausage, bacon. We had a bunch of chickens, slew of chicken, daddy's away. And we'd eat all the chicken you want. He had a big cornfield. He sold it to these here boarding houses in Clinton. And the okra patch. Boy, I picked that okra. Whoo, he'd eat my little hands up. We didn't have gloves. He'd give me an old sock to put on each hand. And it still got to get wet. I hated the looks of okra. And I like it now.
I love it. Yeah.
But, and that hickory
I like it fried.
It's the best.
Yeah.
That hickory king corn, buddy. He'd take that stuff by the truckloads. He was the best ever in my life, I saw. He could walk into a cornfield and he knew which one to pick. So hickory cane don't last for about 3 or 4 days, maybe a week at the most.
Yeah.
You have to get it right when it gets ready, and you better eat it in 3 days after that, because it's really a horse corn.
You know, it's field corn.
It's field corn. It's just your horse and cows.
Gotcha.
Boy, it's delicious, ain't it?
Oh,
It's got 8 rows.
Oh, yeah.
And big old kernels, great big, like a thumbnail or something.
Yeah.
And see, they got 2 rows. You take them 2 rows at a time. You have a big divider between them. If it's real hickory cane, that's
Oh,
yours.
yeah.
And you bite down on them, take it to 8 rows. If it's got more than 8 rows, it ain't hickory cane. It's really hickory king, what they call hickory cane. Them
Yeah.
farmers. And I put out some one year, and I didn't know. I put hickory cane. Boy, I was proud of my hickory cane corn. And I went over here about 25 feet, put sweet corn. And the wind tousled it. See, that's the way it breeds.
Oh, they did.
And I come down, I had a few 8 rows, but then I had 10s and 9s. I said, what happened to this corn? I planted it. Got sick. One of them farmers said, well, it tousles. It's wet. It was wet does. And he said, it mixed with that other corn over there. And I said, oh, shoot. But you've eaten it, John.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You ever notice how 2 rows at a time?
I've not really paid attention to it, but I've had hickory cane corn a bunch.
Pure hickory cane. And it's kind of hard to get. No, boy, back in the 60s, it come out, people started eating it. It was everywhere, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody grew
Hot
up.
commodity.
You couldn't
even
get
find
it.
I don't think I've ever.
That's the best of it. Have you ever had it?
I don't think so.
If we can find some, I'll get some. Let somebody cook it for us.
But my mother
Yes,
would
it's
take
delicious.
cut it off the cob.
Mhm.
Right.
Like that, and then scrape that cob, get that milk out of that cob,
Mm-hmm.
and fry it. Oh, Lord, I mean, you just run yourself.
Oh. And we do it, they put it in an orange skillet,
Yeah.
and they put that grease in there. You remember,
Gonna
this
make me
stuff would come
hungry.
right up to the top. It wouldn't run over. Mama, and they knew how much to do.
Oh, yeah.
He'd come up, blubbering. If Mel Gibson listened today, he's talking about the other day, or here a while back. about that hickory cane corn as Mama fried it. One day you had fried, the next day you had roasting ears, and you had just about every day you had some kind of chicken dumplings or chicken, because when you lived on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
And every morning for breakfast you had ham, country ham, or bacon, or sausage, and they fixed the sausage and put it in a can.
Yeah.
And turned it upside down. Well, that's the best you ever eat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had a sausage grinder by hand. I'd grind for my mother. I still got it in that smokehouse I told him.
Yeah.
I'd go out there and see a lot of that stuff that we had back then, and her bathtub and that electric thing I showed you that we heat water with, and I got a lot of stuff out there. It's Mama's washer. I still got her washer, a ringer type.
Good Lord.
And I still got the wash kettle. See, we didn't have a hot water heater. Nobody much had a hot water heater.
No.
Nobody back then. I guess it's invented, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We was too poor to have one, I guess. But you take a kettle on Monday's wash day,
Okay.
and they go out there and set, Daddy had rocks in her, and that kettle this big round. I got it there in that old log cabin. We'd sit it there, and Daddy cut Kim and put under it, that part of wood on that.
Fire it up.
And man, they go out there and they got that washboard, and they take that spoon, big old wooden spoon, and turn that and scrub them, and just scrub them down here, and then throw them in that boiling water, kill germs and everything. Wash day, that's my daddy. Get a fire bill out there, it's wash day, and he'd go out there and build a farm. And, we did have running water. We was running outside, but I still got one of those pumps. It pumps off of pressure, water pressure. It's like those torpedoes that when they built North Dam at water. It's just a thing about this big, but it's heavy, it weighs about 100 pounds. It goes in there, it's a cylinder, and that cylinder would shoot it from Ciderville to our house. But you can't put it in the house because you had to have a 200-gallon reservoir and a pipe it shot clean water into it all the time at the bottom. And then the other would run out the top.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cold. Each time you want a good cold drink, spring water, you just had a cup, or you just get your cup. Oh, man, it's like ice water. And then all the way around it, grass would grow just thick, where it's watered all the time. And I still got that. John Rice got me one. It's up there in my garage. I'll show it to you sometime.
Yeah.
And but it's amazing how that thing would work. They run a pipe down through the creek. The pipe went all the way to the spring, and the spring water run down, and that way it wouldn't freeze, because that spring water won't freeze. It's 58 degrees some in the winter. And then they built a block house for that thing to keep it warm.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't freeze, and that water going in, and then it hit that thing, and it shoot it all the way to hell. It's shooting so fast it wouldn't freeze. Pew, you can hear it. You can hear it from Ciderville from up our house go pew real loud every time that thing hit. It hit just like that. Pew, pew, pew. I mean, it was shooting 2 or 3 spoonsful, or maybe half a cup every time.
That's
It
impressive.
took you a few days to get your thing full.
Right.
You could still have water because you had a faucet.
Right.
Mhm.
Did have a faucet on it, and you could get your water, and then, but it was running all the time.
That's impressive.
He might cut it off when it got real bad, 10 degrees, but we had a lot of water out there, but we'd have to wait till it thawed a little bit. But his sun hit it. It's right there where the sun hit it. If any sun come out, you go out there and get a little bit of water out of it,
Didn't you used to have a water wheel at Ciderville? Didn't you have a little water wheel at Ciderville?
Oh, yeah, I had a water wheel outside of it, and then I built a fire department thing there one time. They come down on insurance. I went up there and said, I want fire hose, just like you got the fire department. And I took it, I went and got a pump. It was a powerful pump, man. I mean, your daddy come in there, Max, and I give him that nozzle. It's a regular fire nozzle.
Yeah.
It's on that old fire truck up there now. And so the hose is up there. And I said, hold this thing, Max. He's out front. I said, hold this thing till we have a lot of pressure on it, and I turned that on. I plugged that thing in. He said, that ain't got, it went from across the highway, shot water from across the highway. raised him up. I said, don't turn that thing loose. Knocked him made head off. He was holding it like that, and it was shooting plumb across the highway. So, then, I had saw Broadacre Dairy. See, they pumped out a creek over and irrigated, so I went and got me a bunch of plastic pipe, that old plastic pipe, and took a drill and drilled holes all over it, 100 foot. And I go up there, because I pump it out of the creek, didn't cost nothing for water. And I hooked it on that thing and turned it on, and it shoot water all over that field. 100 feet, it's about 25 each way. I let it run there today, then move it up 50 more feet. I had grass that summer, it come in a little drought. And Lord, I had grass growing. I made 100 pieces of plastic pipe, see? And I was getting 100 foot, about 50 foot. It's kind of like they had there, the best I could see from the road.
Right.
I didn't go up and look at it, but I did put some holes in it. And the littler hose you put, more pressure hose, and it shoots way up there, and there's water way out there. And I used that for a long time. And they saw it, the insurance people said, man. I showed them how it worked. They said, let me have the insurance cheaper, because they said, man, you got just like a fire department here. With that thing, it would really shoot water, man. I mean, it'd raise you up off your feet. That whole set nozzle come down to about half inch.
Yeah.
And all that 3 or 4 inch hose full. But I remember your daddy saying, wow, that thing ain't doing nothing. And I looked, it was going to come across the highway, and he was hanging on to it. Oh, man, that's a good, I've had such a great life with good stories. And I hung around older people that know so much. They knowed everything. I didn't. I was the type that didn't act like I knowed everything. I wanted to learn everything. I got Mr. Walker. I never told him how to do nothing. It's hard for me to keep up with the plate full I had. See, so, I mean, man, them people back in the days they had to do everything for electricity.
Right.
Everything had to be done for electricity.
Yeah.
Sausage meal, I got that there in the smokehouse. You had to grind it with your hand.
Yeah.
Hey, a grinder that you was going to sharpen your knives and stuff with, had big cranks. I got them.
Yep.
You take your knife, sharpen the grinder. And some of them you sit down and work like a bicycle with your feet and grind. And I mean, it's just, everything was, they invented stuff. And I learned so much of how they did it. And the first hay they built was a heavy-duty wire went around it. The big old wire come off the machine somewhere. I was young and I didn't know, couldn't grasp a lot of it. But went in there, and then they had, if you want to shell corn, I still got my daddy down at their mill. They shell corn for people, bring it down there, shell it and grind it. And they had a corn sheller, and it was hand cranked. It's because you put an ear in, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
So I feed it, one crank, and just shooting it out of it.
Yeah.
You take an ear of corn 1 second, I guess, it's dropping off.
Yeah.
If you was grinding, it goes whoop. And then my other grandpa had a chicken feed grinder. If you want chicken feed, well, you just take your corn and pour it in that and grind it and you get chicken feed. I got that. And that's the way we done with cider. They cranked it about a half a bushel of apples at a time. They called that the hopper up there.
Right.
And I got one over if anybody wants to see it, all hooked up. So Mr. Absent said, now we can't grind on that thing. We're getting trailer loads of apples in, so we got to get better than that. So he put a big wheel that big on it, an electric motor, and had a switcher. Because you grind some apples real quick. I mean, they go through there. You grind a bushel of apples in probably a minute.
Oh,
That's a lot of apples.
It is.
It'll take you 5-10 minutes with your crank.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't do it all the time. You had to
Yeah.
switch it out.
right.
One carry apples, one crank apple.
That's it.
So and mine's got the electric on it too. And so you go in there and I had a switch, and it runs out into a crock with a big white cloth over it. It takes care of all the seeds, but they wash and speck them in the big old reservoir thing there. And we've done like a trailer load, take us about 2 or 3 days. put them in jugs. But the way things, I'll tell you, somebody was interesting and knew a lot of this stuff, and I heard him do a lot. And I'd come up with some idea, and he'd go, well, good, now, I guess we need that, don't we, David? I told him we need some road graders, and he went and got them, but that's John Rice Irvin. Well, he was a real historian.
Oh, yeah.
He studied it, and one day I said, I want a road grader. And he said, well, I said, I saw one over there, but it's $3,000, and it's a little high. One over he pulled by horses.
Yeah.
He called me next day, and he said, you're the luckiest person in the world. Said, they've got two of them. And I told this guy to buy them. I sent one of the buyers for me up there and said, you can get what you want. One of them was strictly 2 wheels and strictly pull with horses. Now mine was 4 wheels, and you put it with horses. You had a horse or an old tractor. If you had a tractor, you put a tractor. It's still over. Anybody will see that. And when I got it, I said, I want the 4-wheel one because I'm going to have a tractor.
Right.
An old lug, them old metal lug tractors. And I went and got it, and he kept that and took it up to his mill. He said, yeah, I figured you'd want that one. But things I'd want, I'd tell him, and he'd find them for us. He said the very next day, he called me and said, I don't know what it is with you, but when you want something, I run that thing and said they're having a big auction Saturday, and they got 2 of them for sale. Would you believe that? And I said, and the one they won $3,000 for, mine was a lot better, and he got them both for $1,600. And I mean, man, that's something else,
Yeah, that's the way it was meant to work out.
And I buy them old tractors, and sometimes people want them for yard decorations, and they'll give you a good price for them. They come in, I say, everything's for sale, but some of it's kind of high. It takes a long time to collect some of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so John said, why don't you build, you got a little stage there on the porch of the house, said, why don't you have them bring a box lunch and I'll get you with the schools, and they'll bring them over for a picnic and show them this stuff and take them a tour. He gave me trade me and I give it to me, trade it to me, a big old whiskey steel all hooked up like it goes. And the fire department from Mayberry up there, they had that Mayberry place. I got a lot of that Mayberry place. I got that big cow in there, and Otis riding the cow. You saw it.
Yeah.
And I bought most of that out.
Yeah. John stuff.
I bought the bubblegum machine. I bought a lot of it when John Hitch closed it down. What way he died and his wife sold it.
Yeah.
Well, something to see. I mean, he had it down.
Yeah, he had.
I bought Goober. I've got him out of the day. Got a taxi and towed him, put him in my garage. I told Goober the big old haul. And I bought, I don't know how much that stuff I bought. I bought the fire department. It's under a shed out there. I bought the big armed wheels and decoration, and I got the Gomer on top of the roof with his gun sticking out and his legs hanging over.
That's funny.
It's a sight of stuff. Well, I mean, John Hitch had a real Mayberry.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you, I've been to Mayberry and stayed there, but the way he had his decorated up was a lot better than anything they had at real Mayberry. He had more stuff. He had barbers. He had all in buildings. Had that barber's shop, Floyd's chair, and all that. And it was just, he had a lot of stuff. He also had a little recording studio at his house. He did his shows.
Yeah, he'd record all his radio shows. Yeah, he was on here for years.
He was on here for a long time.
Mayberry Country, and he'd do a gospel program,
he played
too.
Cass Walker. He had the same kind of clothes, Mr. Walker. And he asked me, we was on up at not the UT, but up the History Center. He was playing Cass Walker. We were playing the Cass Walker show that day. He got one paper. And he come out, and we introduced him as Cass Walker. And he said, now, David, I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm fixing to run for mayor. And I said, well, have you got a platform? Yeah. He said, I'm going to be good to everybody here in Knoxville. Said, I've come up with a thing that'll make us a lot of money. He said, all these pine trees we got around here, said, I'm going to chop them down. Said, we found a way we could turn them into women's dresses, make women's dresses out of that pulpwood, you know. And I said, let me get this right. Now, you got these knotty pines that you're going to cut down, and you're going to make women's dresses out of them. I said, well, what are you going to do if a knot falls out? He said, I'll look into it. He said, I'll make sure he took care of it. I'll look into it. He had some good jokes and stuff, didn't he, told? And on this monument, it says right on it, I told you I was sick. Because Father, I told you I was sick. But he made a pretty good catwalker. He had his hat, and I've got a little cast store over now, and he had me do it.
Yeah, we built it.
We done it, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, we got a catwalker store.
It looks good.
Yeah, it's cute.
It is.
Got the Cherry done his last show in, got that cider mill on. I put it in there now.
Yeah.
And a lot of his stuff, you know, he had so many foods that he made. He owned Supreme Foods and that blue band.
The Blue Band coffee.
Blue Band bread, all kinds of stuff.
Coffee,
Beans, coffee. Yeah, I mean, he just made so much stuff. It was unreal.
He knew what people wanted.
Huh?
He knew what people wanted.
Yeah, done it. Yeah, he stayed, and he made it where you could keep it just a little below everybody else seeing. But what it was, he owned Pay Cash Grocery, which was a jobber like the jobbers we have in Knoxville, you know.
Right.
Had institutional jobbers. We bought out one of them. One of them he bought out, but he had that jobber, so he bought his groceries from his own self, and he sold it to other supermarkets. And he was just a smart man. He
That's
could
just like his
invest.
mayonnaise.
It's supreme
They called
mayonnaise.
him and said, Mr. Walker said, we can't get vinegar that goes in the mayonnaise of the mix. And he said, I don't know what we're going to do. So we got all this stuff ready, but we've got no vinegar put in it. And he said, well, put lemon juice in it. That's where that lemonized mayonnaise comes from. So,
We draw 3 pictures of 3 big old lemons on the jar. You remember it said supreme mayonnaise. And some of the other people had put lemon juice in it, put lemons on it. I mean, he's about to run everybody out of business. He was selling so much. Boy, and I tell you, if you eat that Duke's mayonnaise,
Yeah, I've had it.
it's got a twang,
It does.
and they were open before he was, and that's what his tastes like. I'd say they made it for him.
Okay.
Now, I don't know that. When I got some of that Duke's, it's good mayonnaise, ain't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's got a good little twang to it.
Yep.
And it twanged about like his. I thought, and they opened 1912 or something, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Way back there, it's on the bottom.
yeah, it's,
I said, I wouldn't doubt a bit. Now, he would tell me if I'd ask him, who makes your mayonnaise for you? Because somebody made it.
Right.
Or he got their recipe. What he'd do, though, he would, if he wanted Jeff G or somebody else make it, he'd just send a fellow down there from the university and get a jar of it, and they'd analyze it, and he'd just make it. He'd get a guy from UT, he'd analyze anything, he'd tell you what it is.
Figure out how to make it. Do it
He'd change
himself.
one
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
He wanted to.
Make his own.
I tell you, this is kind of funny. The guy I was telling you about made the monuments.
Mhm.
I thought of something else he invented. He invented glow. They had a thing out, swipe. It's a thing that you just swipe on. You just spray it on ink or anything, swipe it off, you know. So it was good. Oh, and people was wearing them badges everywhere. Everywhere you go, grocery stores and everyday people was giving the badges away. I like swipe. I like swipe. I like swipe. I may still have one of them. But people, everyday people, I think when you bought something, you got a badge or something,
Right.
you know, or they give them to you at the grocery store, and I like swipe. People just wanted them around because it's a pretty badge. Well, he said, man, that guy's getting rich, ain't he? And I said, he's making a lot of money, I guess. So he went and got him a chemist from UT and took him a bottle of it, and he said, I want this very same stuff. He's dead now, so I mean, they can't sue him. So he made it, named his Glow. So he hired me and Scotty Stoneman to go around a lot of places and play for him wherever he's promoting it, you know. We give the stock barns and big sales what is going on. He had dinner, and I played guitar for Scotty Stoneman back then. He played the fiddle. Well, we was playing the cattle barn, and Scotty played Orange Blossom Special, and he laid down and done it on his back, and you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was on Barney and Buster, and he was on Cass Walker Show at that time. And he said, this guy walked up, Scotty Stoneman, you're the greatest. Would you play me Orange Blossom Special? He said, I ain't going to lay down there and play it. He thought he had to do all them tricks. So he played it. He said, we'll play something else. So we played. But we traveled with him, Nashville and a lot of different places, and worked for him for a while. But he'd get all kinds of business, but he never would stay very long. If it started going, if it didn't go fast, he'd just get into something else. He was one more side, that guy was. See, I sanded floors before I started playing music for a living, and he knew I did. He said, I think I'll just open a floor sanding company. I hadn't been sanding them for a while because I was playing music. And he said, on your off days, I'm going to take the jobs and you can come do them. And I said, I don't much want to do that anymore. And he said, yeah, but I'm going to pay you big, because I said, I can't do it. He went and bought all that stuff, brand new, big floor sanders, edgers, all that stuff. And he had a trailer he pulled behind his car, had a new Ford at that time. And so I went and done some of them for him. I worked, he didn't last. I told him, I said, get you somebody to do it and keep going. But he didn't advertise, and he just sold the machine and went on to something else. But I went there and sanded floors for him for a while. Mm-hmm. I mean, when I was off, if I was off a day, I could go do it. And after that's what I quit doing, to play music at Marlin Western for a living. That floor sanding was hard work. Not hard to play music. Right. That dust didn't kill me.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, see, you're supposed to wear a mask when we was young, and I started
pay no attention to it.
18, 19-year-old, started sanding floors. And when you're 18, 19, you ain't got no sense no how. As bad as Harry was at 45.
Well, Mr. Walker was like you, David. He started to strictly on the flat bottom.
He did, oh yeah.
Have nothing. I mean, he told one time, said that he took every bit of money he had and bought eggs, and he was going to cross the railroad crossing something, and the wagon fell off one side, and it tilted his wagon, busted his eggs and stuff, so he just sat down and cried. Everything he had was right there, and it's destroyed.
I got that in that Life and Times. They wrote it once in that book, shows a picture of it. He was sitting there crying.
Then he said that he opened that little store down there in Knoxville, and on Saturday, he'd get up on the rig himself, throw off live chickens. And of course,
and he started the good thing contest.
Yeah, people come in, get one of them chickens for nothing, and then of course they go in the store and buy something.
Yeah.
And he just started from that. And he's bigger Walmart was towards every Walmart.
Absolutely.
It's all under one roof. Anything you wanted, you could go to Cass Walker store and buy it.
It is there.
Clothes, it didn't matter what it was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but you can go and buy, you know that stove that's on Gunsmoke?
The pot-belly stove? Yeah.
He sold them it loaded up. I bought me one for the store. We put coal in it. Chester tried to drive wood down there, but it's really a little coal stove. And we put coal, we hit the back part of the store with that for a long time. And he got, I just got loving everything he done, you know, and he'd say, we're going to have dog dipping at Chapman Highway or somewhere. Bring all your dogs, we're going to dip them for free. He'd pay the guy so much a dog to dip them, and oh, Lord, this put them up and down the highways with dogs. Getting them dipped. He probably bought a bunch of them hounds and he sold dogs right there too. Yep. And I mean, it was a big thing. So I wanted him to go with me on things because I wanted to have a crowd. And I said, I'm having a festival, Crab Orchard, and I said, I need you on Saturday. And he said, well, I said, I need you one day. He said, Saturday. I'll come down on Saturday. He said that. And he didn't even have a driver. He had to drive himself. And he told me, he said, David, I got so sleepy that I found out what keeps me awake is popcorn. So I got me a bag of popcorn, eat that all the way down here so I could stay awake. He pulled in there and said, now, he said, this ain't going to bother your sales. I'm having a free dip dog dipping outside before we buy a ticket to get in. And said, I'll get a crowd there, and then they'll start coming in. They did. And that dog dipping, and then he'd tell people around out here, he said, David thinks everything I do is funny and good. And then he showed me the goose eating contest, because that was his. And he showed me throwing chickens off the roof. We was going to throw chickens off the roof. One year, Bill Carlisle came up from Nashville, and I told him, I said, Mr. Walker, could we throw chickens off the roof? And he said, no, I did that. Let's do turkeys. And it was Thanksgiving. And so Bill Carlisle, and this, I guess he's listening today, Don Bell.
Mm-hmm.
We had to call Clinton Reynolds because he couldn't get it. He's about close to 90. He could walk up no ladder, you know. So we called Clinton Reynolds, and they brought a big old lift.
Yeah.
And we put him in a chair, put him on there, and took him right up. And Don went up with him to hand him the paper turkeys. Now, he got there to help him, Don did. I said, get up there and help him. I just met Don. And he looked like a salesman to me. And I said, get up there and help Mr. Walker. Oh, they throw them turkeys. Every turkey had a prize. Gibson guitar giveaway, a real high dollar, maybe $2,500 guitar.
Oh, yeah.
It was a big day. And they give away T-shirts. You won a Gibson T-shirt. You won a Ciderville T-shirt. You won a ticket to the show. You won a turkey. We had a lot of turkeys that froze. And we had other people want to give away stuff, you know, other companies like Martin and them. They give away T-shirts and all that stuff. And then we had a giveaway day that day.
Oh, Lord.
He stayed up there, I guess, close to 3 hours, maybe longer. Throwing in, he says, time to throw away we're going to throw away some turkeys now. Now, every turkey, we'd take a break, you know, every little bit. We'd throw them off for about 5 or 10 minutes, and people would go get their goodies, and we'd wait about 15, 30 minutes. We'd do it about twice an hour, maybe more than that, maybe every 15 minutes. So we're going to have a turkey giveaway. We're going to be giving away turkeys and Gibson guitar here. Go inside and register. Somebody's going to win a $2,500 Gibson electric. They got it in there. You can see it in the Gibson people's here. And we got strings and picks, and all kinds of hats and Gibson hats and T-shirts. And we just had gobs of stuff people give us. And so Don would get up there with him and give him about 10 turkeys or so. We had to
Zip them off.
You throw them off. What we done, I forgot about this, but what we done, you know, when you go to the store and get them little old marshmallow turkeys.
Yeah.
We had them marshmallow turkeys, and we took a paper clip or something and put that winter thing in it or on it. Karen, I guess, done that. And when you throw that off, you got that turkey, then you pulled your paper out, take it inside, and they give you what it said, you know. And take your turkey.
That's good.
And that's the turkeys we throwed off. It's real turkeys, you know. Well, even kind of like I got in the car on this. You saw them, the marshmallows. You eat them turkeys. If it's Thanksgiving. And man, you talk about a promotion day.
I bet.
That's a good idea.
We had it. Didn't have to have no music, none, just Mr. Walker. I did. And well, we give away. Suppose back in turkeys probably wasn't $5, $6 a piece. Maybe we give away 20 closed turkeys.
Right.
And maybe more than that. And the other companies give away the other stuff. Oh, it was a big day.
Yeah.
It was. But he'd tell him, David thinks everything I do is funny. He said, I help him out all the time because he really likes me, you know. And of course, he did me too. He was good to me, always. I mean, he was a man to be respected for me. I can't talk about him and everybody else, but for me, he was 10. And if he told you something, you set your clock by it.
Yep.
He was never, and this is very strange. I can't do it, and I haven't done it all the time. I've done it a lot, but I haven't done it the whole time. He never wore a watch. And he would tell you, I'll meet you Monday 1 o'clock at the Clinton Highway store going to do something, because I drove for him. I'd drive over at about 10 till. He'd done be there. He'd get there early because he'd go in there and check everybody out, see how they was working. But once when you had to leave, you would leave right at 1 o'clock. And I'd walk in there and he'd be maybe in the, back with the vegetables and stuff, talking to the vegetable man. And he'd be over with somebody else, and I'd sit there and wait with him. And I just go in there with him wherever they're at in the office. And sit down. I ain't say nothing. I just sit down, and directly he'd say, ain't it about 1 o'clock? I say, yeah, 2 minutes still. Well, we got to go. We got fish to fry. No, he said, we got a hen on the nest. That's what he put. Me and David's got a hen on the nest. We got to go see if it's hatched yet. And we'd take off. And he left for me to drive for him. I drove him quite a bit and drove up in Kentucky and Virginia. And one night, I've told this before, but one night he'd been asleep. He was way up in there, Harlan. We'd been working Harlan, Hazard, and hiding radio stations up in there. And they just keep calling in. He couldn't get off. He was supposed to do an hour, and he wound up doing about 3 hours before he went. But they just, we went up to hear Cass Walker some more. And they'd say, well, will you stay, Mr. Walker? Yeah, we'll give you another hour. And then you give him another hour. I mean, you don't have to get more out. Drove ever since way up in the morning. He gets up about 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And he went to sleep. He was coming from somewhere way up there, and he said, he woke up and looked over at me and said, I'm glad you drive for me. And I said, well, I like to drive for you, Mr. Walker. And he said, he had a big old chunky boy drove for him. He was young, probably 21 or 2. He said, you know what boy I had? And I said, yeah. He said, man, I went to sleep, and said, I woke up, he was in a cornfield, so he like to busted my head. Said, the bouncing up my head was hitting the ceiling. So I said, what are you doing? He said, I must went to sleep too. He said a few choice words, he'd like to kill me. Right? He said, I never went to sleep him. I watched him all the time. He said, I feel okay sleep with you. I said, well, okay, Mr. Walker. Oh, he was I mean, he never was late. And another thing, he never canceled. If he told you he'd be there Monday, now you know he had some big deals come in for Monday. He said, no, I got to meet David at 1 o'clock Monday. And they had to hold their deals. I mean, he's just a guy that, I remember Mr. Russell told me when he had this stock barn there, I didn't know he owned 60% of it. He helped him build it. He said, I was going down through there one day, and he said that they'd quit having flea market up there. And he said, well, you can have one if you want to, David. And I said, I don't go there myself, He said, just tell him Cass Walker said, call him, and you sell your knives and stuff anywhere you want to, inside, outside, I don't care. He said, I own 60% of this control interest. And I said, we're good. So I told Mr. Russell about it, and he said, yeah. I was there when they opened it the first time they had an auction. He said, there wasn't nobody there. None. Not anybody. Maybe one car, just a few people like me sitting in there, and I said, well, this is going to be a flop, ain't it? And said, about 10 minutes, man, Mr. Walker pulled in that little old Ram or what it was he drove. All right, boys, get ready. He said, we're going to have a big auction here just a minute. I've been called Slick Toes and Lays, and he told what only meat company was. And Uncle said, I told him to be here at 1 o'clock and buy. We're going to buy from this right here. They ain't going to buy nowhere. It's going to buy here from now on. He said, they'll be here. And he said, I doubt it. He said, but he got just about 5 minutes to 1. This car is pulled in. Wasn't still nobody there. But about 5 big buyers come in and said they bought everything there. Bought it all. He said, and we'll have another next week. Tell everybody get their cows and stuff in here. We're going to be buying here. And then it started building up from that. Everybody started bringing their stuff. But he said it looked like I thought it was going to flop. Nobody had nothing. Just the sellers. The people had a bunch of cattle for sale.
Yeah.
Said there's a whole slew of sellers there, but there wasn't no
buyers,
no people buying or nothing. No. And said, but boys, when he drove in, said he got out right quick, walked up there and said, y'all get hooked up and ready now. We're going to start this thing in about 10 minutes. And they said, well, who's going to sell them to? They'll be here. You know what happened? If you get 50 stores, if you don't get some,
better show up.
you don't buy that meat.
He didn't care.
He wouldn't buy it from you.
He didn't
Because you
care.
own 60% of it. You
He
want to buy
didn't
it
care
now.
if he didn't have no meat in the store. If they didn't do what he told them, he'd tell them, get your stuff out of my store. All of them.
Oh, we tell anybody. He turned.
And he'd talk it on radio every morning.
Yeah.
I know one outfit is, I think it's Pet Dairies. They had a little squabble or something. He told them, said, I want you to come out there and get all your stuff out of my stores. Said, I'm not selling no more pet milk or nothing. Said, they're a bunch of crooks and I ain't gonna deal with them. He just didn't care.
What they do?
Huh?
Did they get down and make
Well, yeah, but he told him, said, if you ain't out time I get there, I'll take it out there and set it on the sidewalk. But he had an attitude.
Did he take it back later or just never did?
No, not that I know of.
Oh.
No.
We went with Wolf Dairies and he was real Wolf Dairies.
Avondale milk.
We had a good commercial and I got the commercial. At their Generations Gap did it.
Yeah.
Buy Wolf Dairies milk and kids, boy, I don't want that woman could. She wasn't old, but she really had them kids from them, didn't she? Generations Gap. Did you ever hear them?
I don't remember if I ever heard it or not.
They played, she had one on the piano and one on the bass and one on electric guitar and she sung lead and boy, they jumped in there. And it's like that when, about them cars commercial.
Yeah.
It's about like that, only she was in there with them. Every time I see that, Cars for Kids, every time I see that, I think of her. I've got it. I've got a copy of it.
Really?
And see, Kearns, he bought so much bread from Kearns, they furnished him an airplane. He didn't buy an airplane. And, he was something else, I tell you.
You treat him right. I mean, he'd sell your product, but son, if you didn't dance to his tune, he's out.
You had to live up to your deal. You had to live up to your deal.
That's
He
what
wouldn't
the
get
companies say then. They was, I don't know how many dairy companies there was back then. Not, though they wasn't half a dozen now probably, but back then everybody had sold milk and butter. And so he had a lot of people choose from, so he didn't need you. You need him. Like all of them need him worse than you need them.
Oh, yeah. Look at just a few of them. There was Avondale, Pitt, Broadacres, Stoffels. What was that up on the river?
French Broad.
French Broad. I bought one of their trucks. Reason I never get painted. Used it. French Broad milk truck. I had that for about 3 or 4 years.
I remember Pet. I
And
remember
you
that
had
one.
then Biltmore, House Garden. They had milk too. But they had. There's a bunch of them had it. Had milk and ice cream. Kay's.
Yeah.
Kay's had ice cream as a milk product.
Yeah.
Kay's ice cream. Well, he's big on Kay's and Wolf Dairy. Man, he pushed him.
Yeah.
He was big, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was big.
He was just. If they tried to, when the station tried to get rid of him that time, he called every sponsor and told them to take all their time off. They took it off from the station.
Changed their mind.
And they went hunting, and then he went coon hunting for 2 weeks. They run him down the woods, begging him to come back. They said, "You've killed us." And he said, "What happened to you?" And he said, "He never what happened to him." He said, "Well, we lost every sponsor we had. The big ones, GFG, Kearns, Wolf Dairy Milk, Kay's Ice Cream." Well, you didn't do me exactly right now, what we agreed on. Well, what you got to do is come back. He said, "I'll be off this hunt in 2 weeks. I'll come down and we'll discuss it. If you can live up to your promises now, I'll go back." We shook him up.
Well, they won't change his time on station. He said, "No, this is the way I work. I get up at 5 o'clock, and so on. I'll be there." And I said, "Yeah, we got to put you at another time." He said, "No, you ain't gonna do this." I said, "I'll shut you down."
And see, he brought television on 5:37. See, it went off every night. It went off at 12 o'clock. And they done prayer and pledge allegiance, flag, and airplanes would go over. And then it come on at 7:30. At 5:30 to, it came on 5:30 to 7, wasn't it? 5:30 to 7, that's what it was. 5:30 to 7, because I had to leave home at 4:30 every morning. I was on there 9 years. But we'd go up on, sometimes they hadn't even opened the doors. And it'd be time, they'd hear the theme song coming on, the doors wasn't even, we'd beat on them, they'd run at us in, and all we could do is run up and start talking because we didn't have our instruments out. Maybe Mr. Walker hadn't got there. And we're glad that we're going to do the Kaz Walker show here. We need to tell you about some shows we're playing on, and we'd advertise our shows while everybody's getting their instrument out. And I said, you take over, Dan, or whoever's, let me get my banjo out. We just did it like this fireside chat.
Yeah.
And that time, Mr. Walker might come through that shoulder down, and he'd stop right in front of it. Well, I'm sorry that I'm a little late, but I've had some things to do this morning. Said that, let me get over here in my chair and I'll tell you about it. Well, we didn't have to play then. We had to stand there. I stood under them lights. Oh, the 1,500 watt bulbs, great old big bulbs, right on our heads. I stood there with a 3-piece suit on, and I felt water go plumb out, running down my back and dripping off me. But anyhow, and then he would stand there and talk for 10 minutes, and he had to go to commercial. And we hadn't even played it. We go back outside. That was cool a little bit. And our hair, I remember my hair kind of like this, and it'd get wet and just come on down my eyes sometimes. I'd have to comb it back and oh man. Finally, on the last 2 years, we started wearing sport coats and shirts without ties, and we didn't wear a suit. We wore pink. When I first went to work on it, everything was suits and ties on entertainment back then. Yeah. I'd wear a suit and tie for Monumental Western, and what they'd do is buy me clothes for Christmas. They knew what size I wore, knew what I was for. And then they have his outfits made. Finally, after that, when we went to the hayride, we changed into a shirt, a vest, a tie, and a hat. We changed her, because we had to look like hillbillies. Right. Before that, you had to look like you're going to church. Your Sunday morning suit had to be on, but it was great. I just wouldn't take nothing for what I saw. And the good Lord blessed me so much. I just look back on it. Sometimes I just start laughing. I just sit down and start laughing. Some of the stuff that we did and told on radio. And it was just. Radio was good too. We done radio a lot too. Mm-hmm. Television a lot. Television, I worked more television than I ever did radio. I was 9 years at Kaz Walker, 8 years at Bonnie and Buster, Clayton a little while, and then I had some other, they had a thing out of Maryville was a furniture auction. I played on it. I played on a lot of TV stations right here, everything they had, time and time again. But anyhow, we're about to wind up here. But
David, back then, when you was dressed like that, and even all the opera people were the goody.
Oh, yeah.
Rhinestones and all that.
Dressed up. You didn't go in there.
And man, they all look professional.
Yeah.
But now, go to Granddad, look at that. They look like they've been out working on their cars or plowing in a field.
Yeah.
Their clothes don't even look clean. Nope. They don't even look clean.
I wonder what that Bonnie Lou or Mr. Walker would have said if you went there dressed like I am this morning. Well, I guess he's a Fargy. Probably.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't tell you that. You just knew you looked around everybody else had, so you knew you were going to fit in. And then I remember when Nashville started taking the tie off, and they'd button a shirt and wear a nice dress shirt, because LA said, Nashville's doing this now, we don't have to wear ties down there. And he'd start doing it on TV with Bonnie and Buster. They didn't do that. As Nashville changed.
Yeah.
He'd wear a suit, or he'd wear a nice suit, but he'd have a pretty dress shirt. And he'd button the collar or he'd leave it unbuttoned, you know.
Yeah.
I remember Mary started doing that. In suits before that, though.
Yeah, they'd wear them pretty shirts, big collar shirts, and they turn them over the collar of your coat, see.
Oh, yeah.
That's called leisure suits.
Yeah, all them things.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of them things.
Yeah.
I wore a coat to Wild Wings the last time we was over. With all this lace and stuff sewed on it. People were coming up asking me, where did you get that? I've had it for 25 years, I guess. Some lady made it for me out of North Carolina. And then I had one fixed, real pretty. Mr. Abson painted up as a doll. It said, on the back of it said, David WYSH on tour, 1927. And there wasn't more than 42, you know. And I was just 20s when he made it.
Yeah.
It said, David WYSH on tour. I made me wear it one night over there. It's a beautiful coat. Mr. Abson fixed it for me for Christmas. 1927, I quit, you know. We was making a joke out of it, but that woman, that's a nice one. You saw it, didn't you? No, you didn't get to come.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Okay, it had all them rhinestones all over it.
I'd like to see it.
Okay, I'll wear it again next week. Sometime I'll take it off and some other entertainers will get to put it on. They won't wear it. I'm hot. We've got a big show coming up, the 10th.
Wild Wings, yep.
Is that the 10th?
I believe it is. Let me make sure. Yep, Monday the 10th.
Monday the 10th, and boy, we got some good ones over it. Gonna be on it.
Yes, sir.
We always have some good ones, though. It's gonna be a big show, good Lord will. And we got 2 of the 3 Dog Nights working with us, I think, on this show.
2 of the 3?
Yeah, they filled in for the drummer had an operation, I believe.
Ouch.
But they're good. There's 2 of them, I think, all left.
Oh.
They're up there about my age. They're old enough to know better, but, you know, I want to tell you it's about a real big show, and she's going to be over here in a few weeks to advertise it with us. It's going to be a big show at PAL. They're having a big show and a big antique show, and it's right there. If you were coming off Clinton Highway and you go to the, what's that restaurant there? Bojingles. If you're coming off Clinton Highway and you go by Bojingles, they're the next bunch of places on the right there.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a car show and the Ciderville gang, and we'll probably be doing 2 shows there that day. It's going to be good. I'm going to have her over here and Miss Taylor. Miss Taylor runs, she's a realtor, but she has a big, nice antique show there. Store, and so she'll be putting on a lot of extra stuff, but that will be the 17th of May. 17th of May, we'll tell you more about it, and we'll have her over here, try to have her over here about 2 times before they have it, so everybody knows where it's at. She's a real nice lady. I just met her a while back, and so I got her some stuff she's hard to get that she wanted, and when I did, well, we got talking about, she said, I'm having a big show. Well, she was at Wild Wings over the last Wild Wings show. She said, that is the greatest show I've ever saw. And she said, I was wanting to take pictures of that comedy team, but I was afraid they'd get mad. I said, no, they don't get mad for nothing. That's what we're there for. You take pictures and laugh and dance and have a good time. We go in there to play for the people. I don't want them boys playing for themselves, but I don't hear them, that's for sure. As many shows as I've heard, that's what Larry Mathis, this guy, he played banjo. Somebody wanted to go home with him for dinner. He said, now you can come home with me for dinner and eat, but don't you talk about no music. It's kind of like we was every day. And it's kind of like we played a thing with Kenny Chesney and Peyton Manning, and Eli was there, and Archie and all of them, but Peyton and Kenny just got a divorce, and he said, now what y'all do when you come in here, me and Luke, he said, don't talk about divorces and don't talk about football, please. I said, no, we won't. But they got talking about it, you know, themselves, and we let them do it. And so Kenny was sitting there at the piano, and there's a playing and singing, and we just had a big time, you know, cutting up, and that's what it's all about, having a lot of fun. But And they didn't care if we taking pictures. And I mean, they just act like they really enjoyed us.
Sure.
And of course, we enjoyed them, you know, being able to do it with them. But this is going to be a big show. And then we got to tell you about Ciderville right now. The guy that drove the bus and was a road manager for ZZ Top, he come over. He's a friend of mine. He's worked for about everybody. He was a drummer, but he started driving buses and being stage manager for, Lord, I don't know how many people. Sammy Kershaw, Jamie Johnson, Randy Travis, and ZZ Top. He brought me pictures that all of ZZ Top signed for. He had their bus up here sometime back, but we call him Hashcock and we call him the pit master because he used to run a big barbecue pit and make money on some of the things. But he was up here with us, and he went to the store. He stayed all night in Faye's house there, and then we went out to breakfast, and then we went to Ciderville. And he went in there and said, "I'm going to tell you something. This is the best drum collection I've ever saw in my life." So if you want to see a real drum collection of all the brand, I reckon every major brand they make is in there. I mean, it's Pearl, Lobit, just name them. Tom,
He's got them.
He's got them. They got them. Anthony Lay is running the store now. Doug is still running the music barn over other than church on Sunday morning. But if you come over and look at these drums, he can order you anything you want, $10,000 sets, $20,000 sets. But he's also got Fender, Gretsch, a lot of Martin. He's got Recording King. He just got a lot, and he's taking on probably next week. Eastman. And Eastman Mammoths is the best mammoth on the market right now. And he's done got them on order. They'll be your Eastmans, I think, next week. But he has got, you got to come in there. He's getting it. I'm helping him get it all lined out. And we've done a lot since you've done there. You'll be surprised when you see it today. But we got to go over and see Anthony. He's open 10 to 5, Monday through Saturday. And he's one of the nicest people you'll met. I asked him, I said, "How did you do State Trooper? Who'd you give a ticket to as nice as you are? I want to help everybody." And he didn't answer me, but I don't know what went on with that. But he started out as a policeman. He's going to come over here one day and do the show with us. He then started out as a policeman, then he went to the sheriff's department, and then he drove highway patrol, and then he went to high sheriff. He got elected sheriff, and he didn't run the second term because he went to U.S. Marshal.
Yep.
I mean, that's top. That's the top. That's the top of the whole United States.
Yeah, they can arrest anybody.
Anybody. Yeah, they can arrest anybody. And they're over everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Secret Service, CIA, I guess TBI, and any of that stuff. They're over all of it. But his daddy got sick, had a stroke, and so he couldn't get where they had him. He was everywhere, he said.
Right.
He come back home and went highway patrol again. Now he's in the music business. Of course, he's always in music business for a long time at home. And he's moved that stuff there, and he said part of it, if you had any more drums, I don't know where he put them. He just stacked them in some more rooms back there. But
Oh, yeah.
come see him now, and I'm down there a lot right now trying to help him get it organized. And it's getting there. It's just about organized now. It won't be today, but in a few weeks, we're going to have a soup day celebration. And Dustin's going to be there serving soup.
Yep.
And Barney's supposed to be with us, and there'll be a lot of, we're going to have soup. Now, if you don't like soup, I'm getting one of them big legend hams. We're going to have big ham sandwiches.
Oh, nice.
Ham sandwiches and soup and cakes and cookies. And once you come out and celebrate it, we was in a soup kitchen for 11 years. We had soup there, so that's not going to be today. We'll let you know when it is so everybody can come out. It's going to be free. Just come in here and sit down and eat soup. We've got a big order of vegetable. Karen's making it, and Mercedes, Anthony's wife's going to make potato soup, I think. And it's going to be
real good.
a couple kinds of soup. And we may even bust open a keg of pinto bean or something.
That wouldn't hurt nobody's feelings.
That's right.
And if we do the beans, we'll have a blowout that evening. But anyhow, we'll tell you all about that. Now, let's go into the barn.
Yeah.
Doug Green, Michael Douglas Green, he's got the music barn. He has shows every Friday night. It's open mic night. He's been having good crowds. And every so often, not every Saturday night, he has a big show on Saturday night. He had one this past Saturday night, and I think he's having one next week, I believe. But anyhow, we'll tell you about it next week. But go over and see him, and I went there and stayed a while Saturday night, and they had a band that's dynamite. I mean, they were tough. They were some of the best. They's right up with Ciderville, and we got all Grand Ole Opry players, you know.
Yeah.
And they's right up our top shelf. Of course, they did have one that Ciderville's there, the guitar picker, Ken Bottom. But, I mean, they had some real pickers in there, and good singers and all. But go see Doug, tell him we sent you over. He starts, I believe, at 7 o'clock, and 7 to 10, I believe, is the way his hour is. I'm not sure, but he's got the big fireplace going. They got plenty of food, anything like hot dogs that you want, and they have church there on Sunday morning. If you want to go to church there, I don't think it's a denomination. I never heard of it, wasn't it? You go in there now, they'll preach to you, and it's just a good place. They have big dinners in there, too, just every few weeks. But this is really some good people. They've had it. Brother Tench that passed away, his wife has run it. Now they got preachers stepping over it. He told her, he said, don't close this church down. When he started dying with cancer, and she's had it, they must have had 15 years. It's been long.
Oh, wow.
Maybe longer. I don't know. I'd have to ask her, I guess, find out. But it's on Sunday morning, so come over and see them. But don't forget now, Wild Wings at 10. We want you to be there because it's going to be a gigantic show. We get good pickers, and I guess till next week we get to see you. Why, remember Kaz Walker and all of his good things to do, and try to get yourself with, especially the young kids and boys and stuff, try to surround yourself, as my daddy told me, with people who's got money, that knows how to make money. That don't get loving money, and don't think money is all your life.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to know how to make a good living.
Yep.
And be good to your customers, because the repeat business is where you get your business.
Yeah.
It's not just fleecing them once. I tell a customer, I say, no, I want you next week. I won't fleece you twice or three. You know, I cut up with them. They love for you cut up with them. And they walk through the door, I'd say, look around. I may have something with your name on it. What is your name? We're going to write his name on something else. They love humor. People love humor.
Yeah.
And sometimes they want me to just tell them stories there, and I do. Sometimes, if one person come in when we played for a lady, and I said, I played Misty, I played about 3 songs, and played me some more. I said, no, just a minute. I said, here's your CD, just put in your car and play out.
There you go.
Work here. You know, it's kind of funny, but whatever you do, surround yourself. I'm not talking about people who just got money. I'm talking about people who knows how to make money.
Can teach you.
Yeah. That's the best teachers. My daddy said, now, David, listen to everybody, but after you listen to them, you can get the good out of everybody. Everybody's got some good, but make sure his wallet backs up all them things he told you, you know.
Yeah.
So whatever you do, make good decisions and be thankful for all the health and strength the Lord's give us. Until we see you, hopefully next week.
There you go.
We got to go see some friends directly in a rehab center, nursing home or something. But till we get to see you next week, if it's good Lord will, don't take no wooden nickels and do what Mr. Walker said. Be good to the Lord and he'll be good to you.
There you go.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12. Or listen live online at WYSHradio.com. And remember, if you have a question, comment, or problem, call in tomorrow and ask your neighbor. Or email from our website.